Before Rank 9 monsters came out, I made a Pierce heavy bowgun build to farm Arkveld. It worked, but then someone left a comment saying, there's gotta be a better heavy bowgun than this than Mitsu. And honestly, they're right. Back then, the Mitsutsune heavy bowgun got the job done, but with rank 9 monsters hitting harder, tanking more damage, and dragging out fights, we need more firepower. That's why this build is an upgrade. Instead of Mitsu's Mountainous Roar, we're switching over to the Ableben Abzug heavy bowgun. On paper, this thing is way stronger, but here's the twist. Instead of just spamming Pierce ammo, this build uses 4 different ammo types: Pierce, Slicing, Spread, and Dragon. That means the playstyle is way more engaging, and once you learn the ammo cycling loop, your efficiency with heavy bowgun will skyrocket. So in this video, I'll break down the build, show the ammo loop in action, and explain why it works so well against Arkveld specifically. If you just want to jump straight into the build, check the timestamp down below, but I highly recommend watching the ammo cycling guide, where I'll show you exactly how to rotate between Pierce, Slicing, Spread, and Dragon ammo for maximum efficiency. And don't skip the perfect guard guide either. This is where I'll break down how to defend yourself against Arkveld's big punishes and safely create openings while it's in your face. Learning these 2 sections will massively improve your heavy bowgun gameplay, not just for Arkveld, but across all your hunts with heavy bowgun. Finally, now let's break down this build. Even though this heavy bowgun uses 4 different ammo types, the main purpose of all of them is still the same: to charge your ignition gauge as efficiently as possible so you can unleash Wyvern Piercer. Wyvern Piercer. This is your real win condition here. It's a long-range shot that ticks multiple times through Arkveld's massive body, ramping up in damage and hitting its peak around the 8th tick. If you land it clean, it absolutely shreds, and it is a very safe move that you can use as far away as you can use Slicing ammo. If you saw the previous Pierce heavy bowgun build for Arkveld, this rule of thumb is the same thing that we use in that video, and it's switch to your ignition gauge whenever Arkveld is toppled or crowd controlled. But outside of those openings, cycle through your ammo. Pierce ammo for long range DPS and gauge gain, Slicing when you need to reposition or you want to stay far away from Arkveld while still dealing damage, Spread ammo when Arkveld is near you, and you can also use it as a mini repositioning move as well, because you have to realize that this build uses attack boost level 5 and crit boost 5. And with attack boost, if you're very diligent and you're using all of the attack up items, like all 3 of the buffs and the power charm, you are going to be dealing a lot of damage even though this is Spread level 1, and it recharges your gauge a lot. And that mini repositioning move with Spread ammo, that recoil, you'll understand certain moments when you can weave that in. You know what I mean? Especially with this fight in particular. Don't try this with other monsters. There's a reason why a lot of these videos are oh, use this build for this monster. It's because certain things you do against one monster, you may not be able to do to another, but we can do this because we're fighting Arkveld, you know? All right, let's talk skills, because this build stacks a lot of offensive power. If you've ever played League of Legends and you understand the AD carry role, it's basically a archetype in the game where you are a ranged damage dealer that does a lot of damage, but can die very easily if they're mispositioned, and you rely on your teammates to take aggro while you deal consistent damage from afar and keeping as safe as possible. If you can keep that mindset when you play this type of build and the playstyle that we're talking about, you'll have a lot of fun, because you'll see what Slicing ammo is and how, oh, I can use this ammo and I can shoot from very far away, to where if Arkveld wants to attack me, it has to travel a long way and I can prepare and defend myself. Then you have the Pierce ammo, Spread ammo. You basically have an option for every situation you'll be in, whether it's long range or close range. So it's super fun. Now, the next crucial skill is critical boost level 5. Every critical hit now deals 40% more damage instead of base 25%. So 40% more of our raw damage. With the amount of affinity we're stacking, this multiplies out to some insane damage spikes. and we're running attack power 5. On top of that, we've got weakness exploit level 5. Take a look at the little graph in the screen right now. So any body part that has 3 stars or 4 stars is considered a weak spot. So when you shoot that section on a monster's body, in this case Arkveld, you will deal 50% more affinity on those weak points. So what that means is our 40% critical boost will continuously proc on weak spots. We also run maximum might 3, which gives us another plus 30 affinity as long as your stamina is full. With these rank 9 monsters, hunts tend to be longer, so we're also including latent power 4, which kicks in after 2 minutes in combat or after taking 130 points of damage. You're almost always going to be critting because this gives you 40% affinity increase whenever it's active. And this is where our Ray Doubt Armor synergy comes in. With 3 pieces equipped, we get Thunderous Roar 1, which extends latent power's uptime by 30 seconds. This means instead of lasting just 2 minutes, latent power now runs up to 2 minutes and 30 seconds with crit uptime, more stamina reduction, and more chances to pump damage into Arkveld's weak points. On top of that, 3 Ray Doubt pieces also unlock Guts, also known as Tenacity. This lets you survive 1 lethal hit as long as your HP is above yellow threshold. With rank 9 monsters hitting much harder, this effect is basically a safety net instead of carding, so you'll live, recover, and keep the hunt going. For sustain, we add recovery speed 3, which quadruples how fast your heal recovery, basically how fast you recover damage. Your little red, like that little red gauge in the top whenever you get hit. Yeah, so this lets you just play more aggressively while you're cycling your ammo. Next we have Burst 2, which adds another plus 7 raw damage and a boost to Elemental, but this is a raw damage build. The only critical, so this build also runs critical element, but the only ammo type that's going to benefit from critical ammo, or critical element, is the dragon ammo. So that's another reason to use it. The critical element comes with the weapon itself, so we can't really control that it's slotted. And finally, we've got Stamina Surge 2 and Evade Extender 2. These aren't just comfort skills, they directly improve your damage consistency. Stamina Surge regenerates stamina 30% faster, which means your maximum might stays active longer, and you're not punished as hard for dodging or rolling. Pair that with Evade Extender, and you can keep your critical distance while maintaining uptime on your affinity buffs, as well as staying safe away from Arkveld. Now, let's go over the playstyle, because the key to this weapon isn't just the build, it's how you manage your ammo. Okay. Every time you reload, get in the habit of pressing L1. I'm playing on PlayStation, so whatever button that is for you, but basically the button that opens up your quick menu that basically shows you your ammo and your ability to slot through them. So during the reload animation of the ammo that you're using, make sure that you activate the menu and decide if you're going to stick with the same ammo or switch to another one. This habit is what makes the build flow really smoothly. Now, let's look at the most optimized ammo rotations and situations to use your ammo. Pierce ammo is your main DPS when you are at range. Shoot at angles so the shots tick across Arkveld's long weak zones, like its chains or its tails. This also charges your ignition gauge the fastest. Keep backing up as Arkveld approaches to stay in critical distance. When your gauge is full, switch to ignition mode and let the Wyvern Piercer rip. Next is slicing ammo. Slicing ammo is what you swap to when you need space. The slashes stagger Arkveld and buy you time to reposition. Think of it as a spacing tool. Next is spread ammo. Spread ammo is your close range punish. When Arkveld gets right up in your face, spread lets you damage deal while basically backing off. Just remember, spread has high recoil and lower, longer end lag, so your guard will take slightly longer to come out after you use it. So it's not always the best thing to do when you're close range. That's why you have to have discernment in the moment. Last is dragon ammo. Dragon ammo is your damage extender. For example, after emptying your pierce ammo, reload. And again, while the reload animation is happening, switch to dragon ammo and fire it off during like after the reload animation is done. You'll switch to that dragon ammo automatically. So then fire off the dragon ammo rounds, then switch back to your fully filled pierce ammo clip, and then unload that. This gives you a burst chain that squeezes extra DPS out of every topple or CC window. So to recap the playstyle before we go over Arkveld's moveset and perfect guards, the idea is simple. Use your ammo rotation to keep damage flowing while fueling ignition mode. Pierce builds your gauge, slicing and spread manage your spacing, and dragon extends your burst. Then whenever Arkveld is toppled or controlled, switch into ignition mode and unleash Wyvern Piercer to basically get like a massive payoff of damage. The only thing you need to do to be able to access this playstyle is getting in the habit of, when you are reloading, just press the menu button and then decide if you want to switch to a different ammo. Alright, finally, here's the Arkveld attack guide and defense. So let's talk about Arkveld's attacks and how to defend against them. These are the biggest threats you'll face in this fight, and learning how to deal with them makes farming him a lot easier. Also, again, as a disclaimer, this build is meant to be played in multiplayer. Someone has to take aggro. The first move is Wing Scythe. Arkveld drags its chains through the ground in front of it. The startup is long, so be ready to time a perfect guard. If you land it clean, you'll trigger a power struggle, which actually helps charge your Wyvern engage. Next up is Flying Sweep. There are two situations here. If Arkveld is targeting you, aim your weapon so you can angle your guard. Go into press L2 and then aim towards where he is to get ready to line up your guard. Then just time it right before the chains come. You'll see in the clip, it's very guardable if you just stay calm. But if Arkveld is targeting an ally, this move actually becomes much more dangerous. The angle of the sweep can still clip you and basically make you collateral damage, even if he's not focusing you. In this case, the safest option is to sidestep towards the opposite direction of the chains. And always remember, Arkveld is guaranteed to follow up with multiple attacks after this sweep, so turn your camera and be ready to guard again. You can see the entire sequence based off of the clips that are showing on the screen right now. And the clip you're seeing right now is basically how tight the window is to sidestep that move at a certain angle. So you'll realize that this monster is not really that difficult, but if you've ever fought against this monster, you recognize this angle. You've been caught by this before. So it's just us being aware of this, how kind of unorthodox this hitbox can be. Being prepared for it can help us just avoid getting damage, just avoid us receiving damage that we don't really need to be. Finally, we have the Dragon Blast. Arkveld charges its chains with dragon energy and slams them forward, creating explosions. This one is easy to guard if you're prepared. The only time you'll get hit is if you're being greedy and firing without getting yourself ready to block. Those are the three biggest threats. If you can handle those moves consistently with perfect guards, this hunt becomes a lot safer and a lot more farmable. And that's it. Here's the equipment and decorations. Feel free to take a screenshot or pause the video. Thank you again for all your support. If you have any optimizations or feedback, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear them. This build is a really fun playstyle, and I hope you try it out while you're farming your talisman. Thank you for watching and take care.